Okay. Well, when I get spare time, I like walking, new places, drinking tea, going out with friends, the usual stuff really. Making dinner. I like cooking. I love reading, and talking with friends. This is bore at this stage, but I'll always like it. It's cod with tomatoes and olive oil, and it's beautiful, baked cod kind of thing. I like it a lot. I'm biased, of course. Clothes-wise, I get into a rut, and I could wear the same thing every day because it makes me feel comfortable, and that doesn't really look very good because people go, ah. But I like long skirts and little black tops, so I kind of buy that a lot. Designers, I mean, we are dressed a lot by Versace, and this is Chloe now. But I like clothes. I like clothes from anywhere. It doesn't matter. And I mean, if it's pretty to me, it's fine. And if it's comfortable, I can't stand things sticking anywhere. I actually started when I was I think I was 17 or 18 when I actually started, so it was quite late coming into the drums because I originally played piano in the band, which was like the very beginning. But sort of a boyfriend of mine at the time had a drum kit and he played, and he was a mad fan of U2. I remember at the time Larry Mullen he was a huge fan of him. So he sort of showed me a few basic beats, and I just got into it, and then we just decided to incorporate it into the band, and from then on I became the drummer. So it was hard work to begin with, but it's where I'm most comfortable on stage. Yeah, I mean there is a few female drummers, but there isn't enough. It seems. I think it still seems to be much more of a male thing to do, and I don't really know why that is. You know, I suppose it is a little bit strange, and I think when we used to first tour, I used to see an awful lot of people in the audience sort of just look at me and go, "Wow, she's playing the drums. Is she really playing?" You know, and I'm going, "Yeah," but I mean, it is a little bit strange, but I mean, it's a brilliant thing. I think there should be more girls playing, you know, because it's not difficult, you know. It's just something you just practice like any instrument, you know. Performing with the Rolling Stones was amazing. We did 3 gigs with them already, you know, Mannheim, Berlin, Prague, and for us, it was just seeing them on stage. You know, forget us doing our gig or whatever like that. We just, you know, we wanted to see them perform, and I have to say, they're a band that would put any young band to shame with the type of performance they put on, and it was just, you know, they're the biggest band in the world, so it was just a huge thing for us. Oh, good question. Well, I think that there's a great sense of teamwork and there's a great sense of togetherness with your family. We work very well together. It could go a different way. I mean, I think a lot of families don't get on. We happen to get on, so it works great. And I think we've been exposed to the same music from a very young age, so we have similar taste musically, so that makes it easier to write songs. I started playing the violin when I was about 6½, and what actually happened was there was a violin teacher that was new in our town, and he was starting pupils off at the age of 3. So they tried Caroline out first because she was 3, but she was much more interested in the fact that he'd big ears and red hair and freckles. So she wasn't. She couldn't keep her concentration. So I got sent to violin lessons, and then I just kept it up for years, and I'm still playing it in the band. Well, it takes a while to wind down after concerts. You're usually just full of adrenaline. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to have a glass of wine or whatever after the show, and sometimes we'll go out, but very often we're usually working early the next day, or we have another show the next day, so you can't afford really to party.
But I think it takes about 2 hours. Sometimes it's good to have maybe a drink or have a nice long bath and just take time before you get into bed.
Well, keyboards was my first instrument. My father first started teaching me, I think, when I was about 3 or 4. And I started learning guitar. I was taught by a neighbour when I was 13. So I think because keyboards give you a lot more versatility, because if you can play keyboards, you can also play drums, you can also play the bass, you can play the saxophone on the keyboard, you know, with sampling technology. So it's much more versatile. So I have to say that keyboards would be my favourite instrument. It's funny. Formula One racing is a very recent addiction for me, and I was very lucky to have the chance opportunity to meet with David Coulthard at the filming of An Audience with Rod Stewart, and he came up to us and told us how much he loved our music, and I was saying, my God, I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of yours, and he very kindly invited me to Monte Carlo, and I just happened to have 2 days off within that period, so I went. And it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, you don't get a full, true feel for what Formula One racing is about until you actually experience it there, until you're there in the flesh. I lived in Germany for about a year and a half, and actually toured with a pop rock band over there, and they were living in a place called Mainz. Just outside Frankfurt, and we'd great fun just touring around all the army bases and the Air Force bases, and I did that way before obviously we got the family band together, and it was a wonderful experience.